The Bronze Era. The Bronze Era of bodybuilding marks the foundational period of the sport, spanning the late 19th and early 20th centuries. During this time, bodybuilding was not yet a competitive sport, but rather part of the physical culture movement, which emphasized strength, health, and aesthetics. This era set the groundwork for what would later become the modern sport of bodybuilding, focusing on both the development and display of muscle through posing and presentation. One of the most influential figures from this era was Eugen Sandow, often regarded as the father of modern bodybuilding. Sandow, a German-born strongman, popularized the idea of showcasing a muscular physique in a theatrical manner. His physique was celebrated not only for its muscle size but also for its symmetry and proportions, which would later become ideals in bodybuilding. Sandow's famous muscle display performances, public exhibitions where he posed to show off his body, were instrumental in shaping the early bodybuilder's role as both a strength athlete and a performer. He was also the first to introduce posing as an art form in physical culture shows, laying the foundation for the aesthetic standards of modern bodybuilding. Beyond his performances, Sandow made significant contributions to bodybuilding culture. He opened the first gymnasium specifically designed to help people build muscle and improve their physical appearance, offering a space where individuals could train and learn about fitness. Sandow also pioneered the concept of bodybuilding as a lifestyle, advocating for a balanced approach to exercise, diet, and health. Another key figure of the Bronze Era was George Hackenschmidt, a renowned strongman, wrestler, and pioneer of physical culture. Though Hackenschmidt wasn't a bodybuilder in the modern sense, his muscular development and emphasis on strength and aesthetics were crucial in popularizing the idea of cultivating a powerful physique. Hackenschmidt's training methods, which integrated both strength and aesthetics, influenced later bodybuilders who sought to merge powerlifting with bodybuilding techniques. While there were no official bodybuilding competitions during this period, strongman contests were common and served as a precursor to modern bodybuilding competitions. These events often featured feats of strength, such as lifting massive weights or holding awkward poses for extended periods, showcasing both muscle and strength. Early strongmen like Thomas Inch and Arthur Saxon were famous for their impressive feats of strength, and their performances helped lay the cultural and conceptual foundation for bodybuilding competitions. These strongmen were not only celebrated for their physical abilities, but also for the aesthetic display of their muscles. During the Bronze Era, bodybuilding was primarily focused on strength and muscular development rather than the highly defined aesthetic standards we associate with modern bodybuilding today. However, it was during this time that the physical culture movement began to merge strength training with the idea of muscle presentation, which would eventually lead to the development of bodybuilding as a competitive sport in the decades that followed. The physical culture movement emphasized the importance of both strength and beauty in the human form, and this laid the groundwork for bodybuilding's eventual emergence as a distinct and formalized sport. The Silver Era. The Silver Era of bodybuilding marked a significant turning point in the sport, bridging the gap between the early days of physical culture and the competitive professional world of modern bodybuilding. During this period, bodybuilding began to emerge as a formalized sport, with organized competitions and growing public recognition. Though it was still not as widely known as it would become in later decades, the Silver Era solidified bodybuilding's place in mainstream culture and set the stage for the explosive growth that would define the Golden Era. A key figure in this transition was Steve Reeves, who became one of the most iconic athletes of the Silver Era. Known for his classic aesthetic physique, Reeves embodied the ideal of symmetry and proportion. His success in both bodybuilding and Hollywood made him a household name, and he became a major influence in popularizing bodybuilding through his roles in sword and sandal films, particularly his portrayal of Hercules. Reeves won the Mr. World title in 1948 and Mr. America in 1947, and his physique, which combined muscle mass with proportionality, was widely idolized by aspiring bodybuilders of the time. His legacy as an aesthetic bodybuilder and Hollywood star helped blend fitness and entertainment, a trend that would continue in future generations of bodybuilders. Another key figure was Reg Park, a British bodybuilder who emerged as one of the sport's early stars. Park was known not only for his aesthetic physique but also for his exceptional strength. He won the Mr. World title 3 times and played a crucial role in inspiring future champions, including Arnold Schwarzenegger. Park also appeared in several films, continuing the trend of bodybuilding intersecting with entertainment. His balanced approach to muscle building, emphasizing both size and symmetry, became a model for future generations of bodybuilders. John Grimek, a pioneering bodybuilder of the Silver Era, was another influential figure. Grimek, a Mr. America 1940 and Mr. Universe 1948 winner, was one of the first bodybuilders to successfully combine strength with aesthetics. His physique helped transition bodybuilding from a focus primarily on strength training to a discipline centered on the aesthetic development of the body. Grimek's contributions were crucial in shaping bodybuilding into a more refined and artful practice, focused on overall symmetry and balance. While bodybuilding competitions were still in their infancy, they grew rapidly throughout the Silver Era. A major milestone came in 1965 with the introduction of the Mr. Olympia competition, which would go on to become the pinnacle of bodybuilding. The first Mr. Olympia, Larry Scott, became a key figure in professional bodybuilding. His victory marked the beginning of bodybuilding as a professional sport and set the stage for future legends to follow. This era also witnessed the rise of bodybuilding magazines, such as Strength and Health and Muscle Builder, which played a pivotal role in popularizing the sport. These magazines helped spread bodybuilding knowledge, offering aspiring athletes valuable insights into training, nutrition, and competition preparation. This helped elevate bodybuilding from a niche interest to a more widely recognized and followed activity. By the end of the Silver Era, bodybuilding had evolved from its strength-based origins to become a sport that focused on developing a symmetrical, well-balanced physique. This marked a crucial shift, setting the stage for the Golden Era's emphasis on muscular aesthetics and the explosive growth of bodybuilding as a global phenomenon. The Golden Era. The Golden Era of bodybuilding is widely regarded as the pinnacle of the sport's cultural significance, fueled by the rise of iconic athletes and the explosive growth of the fitness industry. This period witnessed bodybuilding's transition into a mainstream spectacle, where the focus expanded beyond sheer muscle size to include symmetry, aesthetics, and overall balance. The Golden Era established bodybuilding not just as a physical pursuit, but as an art form, setting the foundation for the sport's modern form. At the forefront of the Golden Era was Arnold Schwarzenegger, the undisputed king of the period. Arnold's dominance in bodybuilding, combined with his successful Hollywood career, made him a global superstar and an enduring figure in fitness culture. He won the Mr. Olympia title a total of 7 times, 1970 to 1975, and in 1980, and his larger-than-life personality and iconic physique became synonymous with bodybuilding. Arnold's rivalry with Sergio Oliva, who was known as the Myth for his incredible muscle mass and conditioning, became one of the most legendary duels in bodybuilding history. Oliva won Mr. Olympia 3 times, 1967 to 1969, and was celebrated for his sheer size and near-perfect proportions, which challenged Arnold's symmetry and mass. Their rivalry remains one of the defining narratives of the Golden Era. Another central figure was Franco Columbu, Arnold's close friend, training partner, and fellow bodybuilder. Columbu won Mr. Olympia in 1976, and his physique was notable for its impressive muscle mass, density, and overall conditioning. Known for his strength, Franco was also a competitive powerlifter and strongman, which added a unique dimension to his bodybuilding career. His contributions extended beyond the stage, as he was instrumental in bringing greater attention to the importance of training and nutrition in bodybuilding. Frank Zane was another iconic bodybuilder of the Golden Era, known for his elegant physique and emphasis on symmetry. Zane won Mr. Olympia 3 times, 1977 to 1979, and became a true representation of aesthetic bodybuilding. His physique, characterized by extraordinary definition and proportion, stood in contrast to the larger, more massive physiques of Arnold and Oliva. Zane's approach, which prioritized refinement and symmetry over sheer size, became the ideal for many bodybuilders of the time who sought a more balanced and aesthetically pleasing physique. The Golden Era also saw the emergence of Tom Platz, whose leg development and squats became legendary. Platz's quads were considered among the most impressive in bodybuilding history, and his training videos continue to inspire athletes to this day. Lou Ferrigno, later known for his portrayal of the Incredible Hulk, competed in multiple Mr. Olympia contests and was one of the era's most physically imposing figures, combining immense size with remarkable conditioning. In addition to these iconic names, the Golden Era featured other influential athletes such as Dave Draper, Mike Mentzer, and Robbie Robinson, each of whom contributed to the sport's growing popularity. Draper, known for his impressive muscle development and classic physique, became a key figure in spreading bodybuilding's appeal. Mentzer, known for his high-intensity training methodology, revolutionized bodybuilding training techniques, while Robinson's unique blend of aesthetics and mass made him a fan favorite. During this time, bodybuilding enjoyed an explosion of media coverage. Magazines like Flex and Muscle and Fitness helped spread bodybuilding's message to a larger audience, offering valuable insights into training, diet, and lifestyle. The Mr. Olympia competition solidified its position as the ultimate prize in bodybuilding, and its coverage in these publications helped elevate the sport into the mainstream. The Golden Era was defined by a combination of hard work, dedication, and the relentless drive for perfection, creating a legacy that would go on to shape bodybuilding for generations. This era laid the groundwork for the intense level of professionalism, training, and competition that would characterize bodybuilding in the years that followed. The Mass Monsters Era. The Mass Monsters Era represents a monumental shift in the history of bodybuilding, marking a transition from the earlier emphasis on symmetry and proportion to an all-out focus on sheer size and muscle mass. Spanning the 1990s and early 2000s, this era was defined by bodybuilders who pushed the boundaries of human muscle development, creating some of the largest, most imposing physiques ever seen on stage. This period also saw a rise in the use of advanced training techniques, nutrition, and performance-enhancing substances, all contributing to the evolution of bodybuilding into a more extreme, mass-oriented sport. At the forefront of this transition was Lee Haney, who helped set the stage for the mass-focused era with his balanced approach to size and symmetry. Haney dominated bodybuilding in the 1980s, winning Mr. Olympia a total of 8 times, 1984 to 1991. His physique, characterized by both muscular mass and refined proportions, provided a foundation that would inspire the larger physiques that followed in the 1990s. Haney's reign marked the last era of bodybuilding, where symmetry and mass were relatively balanced, preparing the stage for the rise of more extreme physiques. The true transformation, however, came with Dorian Yates, whose approach to training and his extreme muscle mass revolutionized the sport. Yates, who won Mr. Olympia 6 times, 1992-1997, ushered in the Mass Monsters era by focusing on high-intensity, low-volume training. His training methods, which emphasized extreme intensity and volume in short bursts, helped him develop an unmatched level of muscle density and size, particularly in his back and arms. Yates's back, often considered one of the most impressive in bodybuilding history, set a new standard for muscle development and influenced the physiques of future bodybuilders. His approach to training and conditioning, combined with his massive frame, marked the shift to a new era of bodybuilding where size and density became the dominant traits. Following Yates's dominance, Ronnie Coleman became the epitome of the Mass Monsters era. Coleman's sheer size, conditioning, and strength were unprecedented in the world of bodybuilding. He went on to win Mr. Olympia a record 8 times, with his physique known for gargantuan proportions, including massive legs, back, and arms. Coleman's extreme muscle mass, coupled with his conditioning, made him one of the most legendary bodybuilders in history. His iconic mantra, "Yeah, buddy! Fight weight!" which he coined while lifting massive amounts of weight, became a hallmark of his persona and exemplified the Mass Monsters era's focus on size and strength. Ronnie Coleman personified the shift in bodybuilding toward maximizing sheer muscle development, a defining characteristic of this era. However, Ronnie Coleman was not alone in shaping the Mass Monsters era. Markus Rühl, a German bodybuilder, gained recognition for his enormous frame, particularly his back and arms, which were both dense and massive. Though Rühl never won Mr. Olympia, his presence on the bodybuilding stage was unmistakable. His incredible size made him a key figure in the era, and his dedication to achieving extreme muscle mass earned him a devoted following. Similarly, Lee Priest stood out as a competitor who proved that size didn't necessarily require height. At just 5'4", Priest was known for his dense, powerful muscle mass, particularly in his arms. His physique, thick and aesthetic, made him a standout in the Mass Monsters era. Despite never winning Mr. Olympia, Priest earned top finishes in major competitions and became a fan favorite due to his muscularity and dedication to training, especially his remarkable arm development. Other prominent athletes from this era include Kevin Levrone, known for his massive physique and impressive symmetry, although he never claimed the Mr. Olympia title. Chris Cormier, who earned consistent high placements due to his blend of mass and conditioning, and Flex Wheeler, often regarded as one of the most genetically gifted bodybuilders, with an ideal balance of aesthetics and size. Wheeler's blend of size and symmetry made him one of the most aesthetically pleasing bodybuilders of the Mass Monsters era, even if he never clinched the Mr. Olympia title. The Mass Monsters era was defined by bodybuilders who redefined the limits of muscle size and conditioning. This period pushed the boundaries of human potential on stage, with athletes displaying muscle development that was beyond anything seen before. The era set the stage for the modern era, where bodybuilding would continue to incorporate elements of refined aesthetics and balance, while still maintaining a strong emphasis on size and mass. The modern era. The modern era of bodybuilding, which began in the early 2000s and continues to this day, represents the most recent phase in the evolution of the sport. This period is marked by the blending of size, aesthetics, conditioning, and symmetry. While the emphasis on sheer mass, inherited from the Mass Monsters era, continues to be a significant factor, there has been a greater push towards achieving balance, refined aesthetics, and a more complete overall package. Technological advancements in training, nutrition, and supplements have revolutionized the sport, While the rise of social media has played a crucial role in shaping the public image of bodybuilders and expanding the reach of the sport globally. At the forefront of this era was Jay Cutler, one of the most prominent figures in bodybuilding during the 2000s. Cutler's rivalry with Ronnie Coleman defined much of the early part of the modern era. After battling Coleman for several years, Cutler finally claimed the Mr. Olympia title in 2006, ending Coleman's streak of 8 consecutive wins. Cutler would go on to win the prestigious title 4 times. His massive physique, balanced with conditioning and symmetry, set the standard for the era. Known for his broad shoulders, thick chest, and impressive overall muscularity, Cutler's physique and his rivalry with Coleman made him one of the sport's biggest stars and a key figure in the development of bodybuilding in the 2000s. As the 2010s unfolded, Phil Heath became the dominant force in bodybuilding. With his near-perfect proportions and dense muscle mass, Heath won Mr. Olympia 7 times, solidifying his place in bodybuilding history. His physique was characterized by his incredible size, particularly in his shoulders and arms, combined with a level of definition that made him nearly untouchable during his reign. Heath's dominance was challenged by the rising generation of athletes bringing fresh physiques to the stage, pushing the sport in new directions. One of the athletes who emerged during this time was Big Ramy, an Egyptian bodybuilder known for his immense size and remarkable conditioning. Big Ramy shocked the bodybuilding world when he won Mr. Olympia in 2020, marking a significant moment in bodybuilding history. His victory highlighted a new wave of bodybuilders who combined extreme muscle mass with excellent conditioning. Big Ramy's rise to the top also reflected the increasing importance of presenting a balanced physique that combined massive muscle development with sharp definition. Another major figure in the modern era is Hadi Choopan, an Iranian bodybuilder who gained international recognition for his incredible conditioning and muscular density. Choopan has earned top finishes at several Mr. Olympia contests and continues to push the limits of size and aesthetics. His incredible symmetry, combined with his aesthetic presentation, has earned him a dedicated following among fans, making him one of the standout figures in contemporary bodybuilding. Additionally, the introduction of the Classic Physique category in 2016 brought forward a new generation of bodybuilders who focused on aesthetics, symmetry, and proportions, reminiscent of the golden era of bodybuilding. Athletes like Chris Bumstead have dominated this category, with his classic lines and perfect proportions earning him multiple Mr. Olympia titles in 2019, 2020, and 2021. Bumstead's dominance in classic physique represents a shift toward a more aesthetic-driven approach in bodybuilding, echoing the ideals of Arnold Schwarzenegger's era while still adhering to modern standards of muscle mass. In addition to these major names, the modern era has seen the rise of several other influential athletes, including Dexter Jackson, a veteran who competed consistently at a high level well into his 50s, and William Bonac, a consistent top contender in recent years. Brandon Curry also emerged as a major figure, winning Mr. Olympia in 2019 with a combination of size, shape, and symmetry that exemplified the balance that is now demanded in today's bodybuilding competitions. The rise of social media and digital platforms has drastically changed the landscape of bodybuilding. Athletes now have the ability to connect directly with fans, build personal brands, and share their training, diet, and lifestyle choices with a global audience. Platforms like Instagram and YouTube have made bodybuilding more accessible, allowing fans to witness the behind-the-scenes aspects of athletes' lives and see what goes into creating such incredible physiques. The modern era represents the synthesis of everything that has come before it: muscle size, symmetry, conditioning, and aesthetics, while also adapting to the changing demands of the sport. Today's bodybuilders are expected to bring a complete, well-balanced physique, and athletes are constantly pushing the limits of what is possible, both in terms of size and presentation. The role of media and branding has transformed bodybuilding into more than just a sport. It has become a global phenomenon, with many athletes achieving international stardom. As the sport continues to evolve, the modern era is undoubtedly one of the most exciting and dynamic periods in bodybuilding history.